Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Boquete, Panama. If you are just tuning in, I've been traveling with my friend George for about 7 days already here in Panama. We've done a ton of fishing, hiking, really cool adventures, so if you haven't already, make sure to check out the other videos that I've put up. Don't go now. Watch this video, but when you're done with it, go check those out because they're pretty cool. So I think where we are right now, this is probably going to be the last video that I put up from this Panama adventure, which is really crazy, makes me kind of sad, but there's still a lot going on and plenty more to come in this video. So as I said, I'm in Boquete, Panama. It's in the Chiriquí region of Panama, and it's in the highlands. So Panama has a ton of different climates, but we're essentially in the mountains. And this area is really known for like farming and agriculture, and it's especially known for coffee. I actually read somewhere Boquete is to coffee as Bordeaux is to wine. So this is one of the most famous coffee regions in the world, one of the most prolific and known for actually the best coffee, in fact the most expensive coffee in all the world that's grown right here. I love coffee. I'm not a fiend, but I've been having a cup a day probably for about 10 years or so. So today there's a lot in store, but one of the things that I'm most excited for is actually going to a farm that produces coffee. We're going to learn all about it, how they grow it, how they harvest it, how they make it into coffee, why it's so special and expensive, and I'm going to bring you along as well. So in this video, we're going to do that, and I'll show you a little bit more of Boquete in this amazing place that we're at. For example, I will waste no time. Yeah. That's my view right now. So we just got dropped off in Boquete town. We're getting picked up in about an hour at the brewery. Yes, there's a brewery here. So we're getting picked up there to get taken to the coffee farm where that tour is going to be. I typically don't do that many tours when I'm traveling. I like to kind of go off and do stuff on my own or with whoever I'm with, but sometimes they're really awesome, and I'm definitely looking forward to the one that we have planned here. But before then, we're gonna tour around this really cute little mountain town and get ourselves some food as well. Hot toast donuts, you guys. I've had probably 2 to 3 servings of these every single day for about 7 days now, and they definitely don't get old. Toast donuts, smashed, and fried plantains.
Muchas gracias.
So yes, I'm eating pizza here in Panama. You might be wondering why and why we're not eating something a little bit more Panamanian. Actually here in Boquete, it's got a really high population of expats, especially from the US. So there's a lot of places to eat that have like your pizzas and your pastas and your burgers and stuff like that. It is what it is. We've decided to kind of embrace it. We've gotten some good kind of local food too, but I have to say the pizza here, we've had it a couple times, and it's pretty delicious. You know, there's definitely pros and cons too when you think of it from like a local perspective. All the travel, all the expats coming in, it definitely brings more jobs to the area, but it's also meant that gentrification, you know, prices of living here has skyrocketed, which unfortunately has driven a lot of the people that used to live here farther outside of town. So again, not bringing it up to like preach or to tell you what's right or what's wrong, but just something to kind of think about, keep in mind, or at least know about. Wow, there's a lot of background noise and I don't have my mic. I hope you can hear me. Okay, now time for coffee. been up here on the farm for all of about 30 seconds and it already smells incredible with this coffee behind us. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. You know, I talked about it a lot in the last video, but this entire area of Boquete is just stunningly beautiful. So many flowers. You got mountains shrouded in clouds on every side. And the weather is like pretty much perfect every single day, year round. Hope you're ready. It's gonna be fun. So Finca dos Jefes, the farmer, adds a small organic coffee farm, but they do make their own brand of coffee start to finish, which is pretty unusual, and it actually means that we're going to get to see the whole process here. So of course it starts with the coffee plants, which usually start producing after about 3 years. And they make this little flower that only lasts for a day or two, and when it dies, it leaves behind a green coffee cherry. And that cherry takes 9 months to become dark red and to ripen. Now the Geisha coffee plant variety grows extremely well here in Boquete, and several years ago it gained popularity in an international coffee competition for its really unique, light, aromatic flavor. And in 2019 it became the most expensive coffee in the world when a competition-winning farm here in Boquete had its Geisha beans sell for over $1,000 per pound of unroasted coffee. And we just learned it's been sold internationally for as much as $100 for a single cup of coffee. So harvesting the coffee is a very labor-intensive process, and it's really important to harvest only the really deep red cherries. So you see there's some cherries on every plant that are like deep red that are still kind of green and everywhere in between. So it means that the pickers have to go through the plants multiple times, sometimes like 8, 10, 12 times, which is a lot of work and very time consuming, but it's how you get the highest quality coffee. You can actually eat the skin of a cherry raw, and it tastes kind of like a bell pepper, and inside is those 2 little coffee beans that you probably recognize. So most farmers around the world just sell their cherries right to washing facilities, and at these washing facilities, it's how you get the little bean out. But it takes a ton of water, and that water wipes away, washes away all of the fruit that's around that cherry, and that water becomes really, really high in nutrients, which is great if you're at a small farm doing it right there, and you can put those nutrients, that water, right back into the soil. But the reality is most of these places just dump the water into nearby waterways. So for example, here, Rio Caldera runs right through the center of town here in Boquete, and so many farms in this area have dumped that nutrient-rich water from washing the cherries back into the river that it's created algae and methane. And in fact, that river has had 0 fish in like a decade because of it. So here, instead of doing the washing method, they actually dry it in the sun. It's definitely a longer, more labor-intensive process, but it's more eco-friendly. And again, it also creates a higher quality coffee. So these beans have to sit out there and dry for minimum of 20 days, but that's assuming no rain, which is pretty unusual. So 20, 30 plus days that they have to keep it moving and keep it drying in order to get that cherry dried. This cascada, it's the dried shell, can actually be made into a tea. We're learning it's starting to gain popularity worldwide, which is good news to the farmers, and it's pretty tasty. Now that we have the beans ready, the next step is roasting. Lower temperatures make a light roast, and that keeps more of the origin flavors present. Higher temperature leads to a dark roast with a more burn flavor and actually has less caffeine. Typically this is going to be what your chain coffee shops and whatnot have. Medium roasts are nice because caramelization happens, which makes it sweet, but it's still complex, not too burned. For me, it's my favorite. Now, Geisha coffee is really lightly roasted, so you can taste all the natural flavor, and it was described to us as kind of like eating a rare steak. So for a little perspective, also, big companies like your Starbucks and whatnot, they buy beans from all over the globe, but they of course want it to taste like their coffee. If you ever had a Pike place, it tastes the exact same no matter where you buy it. So they buy from all over the world, they roast it so that it tastes the exact same, and in order to do that, they roast it until it's pretty much, burnt. So that's what you like, but it's definitely burning away those flavors that make coffee from different farms and from different climates more unique. Hola, Mancha. Hola. Well, this has been an awesome tour, very informative and just incredibly beautiful. I hope that it's just like half as pretty in the video as it is here. And I, of course, learned a lot. And at the end, got to try some of the coffee. I'm no connoisseur. I'm not trained, so I couldn't quite pick out what we were tasting. But like kind of chocolatey, kind of fruity. In any case, this was some good coffee. Now, I didn't get a chance to try the Geisha coffee here, which they do grow. I think the plant right behind me is a Geisha plant, so they do have that on the property. It's a very different kind of coffee, and it's, as I said earlier, the most expensive coffee in the world. Apparently very different in flavor. Some people like it, some people don't, but for whatever reason they decided it is the best, the most expensive. They do sell it here, but I don't have a way to make it, so we are gonna head into town and see if I can taste a little bit of that and see if it's that much better, like 20, 30 times better than what I just had. We'll find out. I was on my way to go try some afternoon coffee, like I said, but look how cute this little nursery, I guess, is. This town just keeps getting prettier and prettier. All right, I found it. My Geisha coffee. Couldn't leave without it. Ordered $7 for a cup. It's probably pretty reasonable for the cost of it. We'll see how it is.
All right, guys.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Gracias.
A la orden. ¿Español?
Un poquito.
Un poquito.
Estoy practicando.
Qué bueno. Ese es un geisha lavado de Finca Lérida.
¿Te gusta?
Sí, mucho. Es muy delicado. Es muy representativo del geisha de altura, de buena altura. La boca es muy suave al paladar y dura. Así que disfruten.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
A la orden.
So he was saying this coffee is very different than most coffees, really delicate, even tastes of like floral lemon zest, and that it's very light, more like a tea than an actual coffee. It smells kind of like acidic and sour, and it's delicious. It's really yummy, really light, and great. Some people said that it was like very different than most coffee. It's delicious. Is it worth like 5 times, 20 times, 30 times, whatever it is, the price? I'm not sure, but the fact that it only like grows really well right here and that it's hard to get, it's pretty great. I'm gonna be buzzed after this.
What's that, Italian?
That's Italian, so let's cross over. Learned that in Elizabeth Gilbert's book about self-help. Well, I have a definite buzz going on. I usually don't even drink a second cup of coffee in the day. I've now had 3 today, so I think I'm gonna be up tonight, but it was definitely worth it. Had to try that coffee while I was here, and I was pleasantly surprised. And friends, I think that this is where I'm gonna leave you, which is crazy to say that this is already the end of the Panama series that I have. I'm definitely going to be sad to go, and I hope that you've enjoyed these videos just even a fraction as much as I've enjoyed making them. And you know, I do want to say Boquete is a place that I had really high expectations when I came, and it's a town that definitely grew on me. I liked it when I got here, but the more that I got to see, the more of the town and the surrounding areas, the hikes, the farms, and everything in between definitely solidified it for me. And this weather, you like truly can't beat it. I can tell why people love this place, and I hope, if at all possible, to someday be back. Sorry again that I lost my mic. I hope that you can hear me all right on this video. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought of these videos. I really hope that you enjoyed them. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna let you go. Make sure you're subscribed because there's a lot more on the way. I'm headed back up north very soon, and there's gonna be a lot more videos coming. Thanks again, friends. See ya.